Hidden away in the hills of southern Ohio, there's a riddle. But it's not written in ink, it's written in the earth itself. It's a massive serpent, over 1,000 feet long, and for centuries, it has kept its secrets locked away. We're talking about the Serpent Mound. And today, we're going to try to unravel the incredible mystery of who built it, and more importantly, why.
Just try to picture this, a giant serpent, not carved out of stone, but sculpted from the very ground we walk on. It winds and coils for nearly a quarter of a mile, and its open jaws look like they're about to swallow this huge oval shape. And no, this isn't some myth or legend. It's a real place, and honestly, it's one of the most spectacular ancient effigies on the entire planet.
To give you an idea of just how huge this thing is, check out this number: 1,348 feet. That's longer than 4 football fields laid end to end. It is the largest serpent effigy in the entire world. I mean, the vision and the sheer engineering it must have taken to create this is just mind-boggling.
And that, right there, brings us to the real heart of the mystery. For all of its size and grandeur, the mound is completely silent. It doesn't give up its secrets easily. So we're left with these two massive questions that have fueled, literally, over a century of debate. Who on earth built this thing, and what was its purpose?
So, to find some answers, we have to dig, both literally and figuratively, through layers of soil and some pretty competitive theories. Let's start with the first big question. Who were the architects of this earthen masterpiece?
Okay, so when it comes to who built it, the archaeological community has pretty much narrowed it down to 2 prime suspects. First up, you have the Adena culture. They lived in this area over 2,000 years ago. The other possibility? The Fort Ancient culture, who came along much, much later. We're talking more than 1,000 years after the Adena.
All right, so let's dig into that first theory. This one takes us way back into the ancient past. It suggests this earthen serpent has been silently watching the skies for over 2 millennia.
Now, the case for the Adena is actually backed up by some pretty hard science. Back in 2014, and then again in 2019, researchers used radiocarbon dating on organic samples they found inside the mound, and the results pointed to a construction date way back around 300 BCE. On top of that, dig sites at another mound right nearby uncovered artifacts that were distinctly Adena. And here you can see the kind of things they found. These are gorgets and points, basically tools and ornaments that are really characteristic of the Adena people. Finding these so close to the Serpent Mound, well, it makes a really compelling case that they were the ones who built it.
But hold on. Just when you think the case is closed, a really powerful counter-argument pops up. This other theory gives all the credit to the Fort Ancient culture, who were thriving more than 1,300 years after that supposed Adena date. The evidence here really comes down to 3 things. First, some earlier carbon dating tests from 1996 actually pointed to a much later date, around 1070 CE. Second, and this is a big one, the serpent design is super rare in Adena art, but it was a very common and powerful symbol for the Fort Ancient people. And third, we know for a fact that the Fort Ancient culture built other huge effigy mounds, so they definitely had the skills to pull this off. And just looking at these Fort Ancient artifacts, you can see a totally different artistic style. The people who support this theory argue that the serpent's sophisticated flowing design fits way better with what we know about the ceremonial practices of the Fort Ancient people.
So here's where we are. We have 2 compelling but totally contradictory stories. The Adena theory has the more recent carbon dating on its side, but it's challenged by the culture's art style. The Fort Ancient theory fits the cultural picture perfectly, but it's contradicted by those newer dates. It's a classic archaeological puzzle.
So you might be asking, why is it so hard to get a straight answer from the dating? Well, a huge part of the problem is this word, bioturbation. Basically, over thousands of years, you have burrowing animals, tree roots, even frost cycles that are constantly churning the soil. They can move younger bits of charcoal deeper into the mound and push older stuff up toward the surface. In a way, nature itself is scrambling the evidence.
Okay, so while the debate over who built it is still raging, there's an even bigger mystery. Why? And maybe more importantly, why here? Because it turns out the location of the Serpent Mound is anything but random. It sits on a truly unique piece of land with a cosmic past.
The site is located right on the edge of what geologists call an astrobleme. It's a fantastic word, right? It literally means star wound, and it's the ancient, deeply eroded scar left behind by a massive meteorite impact.
I mean, it is hard to overstate how incredible this is.
The Serpent Mound was built right on the rim of an impact crater that's 5 miles wide and over 250 million years old. Now, did the ancient builders know they were creating their sacred monument on a spot where the heavens literally struck the earth? We can only guess, but wow, it adds a whole other layer of awe to this place.
This quote from Woodward and McDonald just captures the mound's power perfectly. Its meaning isn't set in stone. It's almost like a canvas that generations have projected their own ideas onto. Ideas about the cosmos, about religion, and about science. And the theories for its purpose are just fascinating. Some researchers have shown that the serpent's head aligns perfectly with the sunset on the summer solstice, which suggests it could be a giant celestial calendar. Others, who lean toward that later Fort Ancient date, think it might commemorate the brilliant appearance of Halley's Comet in 1066. Or maybe it's a creation myth brought to life, or a timeless symbol of a serpent devouring an egg, representing the cycles of life and death.
You know, the fact that we can even stand here and debate these theories today is kind of a miracle. By the late 1800s, the mound was in serious danger of being plowed over for farmland. Its survival is really a story in and of itself.
So in 1885, this Harvard archaeologist, Frederick Ward Putnam, saw the danger. He launched what was basically one of the first ever heritage fundraising campaigns in the U.S. He bought the site and started the first real efforts to preserve it. By 1900, it was safely in the hands of the Ohio Historical Society, ensuring that it would be protected for all of us.
And this comparison just says it all, doesn't it? On the left, you've got a drawing from 1890, and on the right, a photo from today. The form, the shape, it's endured. It's a direct link across centuries, and it's all thanks to those people who fought to save it. So make no mistake, the Serpent Mound is not some dusty, forgotten relic. It's still a sacred place for many Native American groups, it's a site of active scientific study, and it's a source of just profound wonder for the thousands of people who visited every single year. And that's really why the Serpent Mound is still such a powerful enigma. After all this time, after all the digging and all the dating, the serpent keeps its secrets. It challenges us to look at the landscape not just as dirt and grass, but as a text filled with meaning. The real question is, what do you think it's still trying to tell us?